I guess we can start out by checking out a video that people that like the title of this video might relate to. Where is that at? Right here. So if you're a guy out there who, if you're lonely, you don't have anybody to hang out with or whatever, here's a good video for you. You're not the only one out there in that category.
Hey guys, welcome back. Today I want to discuss a lack of accomplishment, a lack of moving forward with your life, a lack of fulfilling any ambitions or dreams you might have had. Um, in regards to my current state of depression, anxiety, and um, general restlessness and irritability, which I really suffer from, I think a lot of it comes from past regret, lack of things that I've followed through with in my life, constantly giving up on things. Um, Although I think I've done quite a lot in my life, I can't help but feel like I'm stuck. I'm stuck in the same pattern. And although I've traveled the world and I've seen everything from Brazil to China to Indonesia, I've been to all these places and experienced a lot of things in my life. I still feel like my life is lacking and missing a lot. Um, One of the main things is I'm 37 years old now. I don't have any friends at all to speak of, not one single friend. And I used to have friends. When I was younger, I used to have friends. And throughout the years, throughout all my traveling and all this stuff, I've met people, and people have just came and went. And the good friends that I had here back at home, they just all disappeared, got their own families, and they all have children and wives and all this. And
Everybody in the chat, type a 1 in the chat if you agree with what he's saying, if you relate to that in some way, shape, or form, and tell us why if you want. And leave a 2 in the chat if you don't agree with what he's saying, if you have a different experience in your life, and tell us why if you want, if you want to participate.
I find myself just back home in the house that I grew up in. I've been in this house since I was a little baby, basically. Um, I'm stuck here where I was born in the same house, 37, alone, no children, no wife, and everyone around me seems to have moved on with their life, and I'm stuck here like in a never ending Groundhog Day repeated cycle of nothingness. And I think that takes a huge toll on my mental health. It's almost as if I'm trapped, I'm restless, I'm so irritable. Like, why hasn't my life moved forward? Why am I stuck like this? Um, why am I unable to find love or somebody that loves me for who I am? Um, you know, something something about eternal love, or finding someone who would want to spend their life with you and all this. I've never found it, and I guess that's another reason. I think everyone out there needs love. They need to love and be loved and feel wanted, or feel like somebody at least cares about you. And I think when you don't have that, it kind of just it makes you kind of feel empty in a way, kind of empty and lost, and you don't know where you are, you don't know where you're going, you don't know what you're doing. You feel like your life doesn't have a purpose. And I think as soon as you feel like your life doesn't have a purpose, or you're not useful to anyone or anything, of course you're going to feel down about that. Who wouldn't? You know, it really takes its toll on you. And I think that's where I am now. I just feel like that.
Pause this real quick. I see in the chat, Modern Male Archive says, why would someone want to love him for who he is if who he is sucks? See, this is where I disagree with that. growing up, my mother took care of, well, for her career wise, she worked with disabled people. That was part of her career. So growing up, I saw what it was like for a lot of people to live with disabilities. And some people have physical disabilities, some people have mental disabilities. These people are disabled and, they're unable to really be highly productive members of society. And they still have close friends and family that love them and take care of them. So who they are in the eyes of some people might suck. And I mean, that sounds bad to say about a disabled person, but they're in a sucky position, right? Life has dealt them a shitty hand. But are you saying that they don't deserve to be loved? Like they don't deserve for their friends and family to love them? There are good people out there. Not everybody is a manosphere modern male. Some guys are men. And there are people out there that genuinely do care about other people. Like, I want to make that clear. The manosphere isn't the real world.
Every day, nobody to talk to, nobody to cheer me up, nobody to have a laugh with or anything. Nobody to hug, nobody to cuddle, nobody to feel any sort of warmth with or anything.
And that sucks. I feel his pain, but everything that he's explaining to me sounds like paradise. If I get a few minutes or if I get like a day to myself, literally, if I could be at home by myself and have a fire and crack open like one or two beers as the sun's going down and just chill out and shut off the rest of the world, that's fucking paradise to me. I guess some people are cool with being introverts. I don't know if I'm an introvert or an extrovert because I'm extremely social. I mean, I even have a social media presence and I like to be out. When I am out, I talk to everybody. I communicate with everybody. I've never cold approached anybody in my life because I literally approach everyone. It's not a cold approach. I just walk around and talk to people like I'm that type of person. But at the same time, I can flip that switch and find it very enjoyable to be all by myself. I love it. I love going home and being by myself and being able to just like chill out, fucking take a shower, relax on the couch, watch a YouTube video, read, chill out. It's nice. But you wouldn't like that if you were alone all the time, LFA. True, but it's an option. I think it's an option for everybody. I think even this guy in this video has the option. It would be very easy for him to, let's say, go to church, right? There are places that don't require a lot of social skills or riz or looks or money or status to go out there, be social and get along with people, right? The gym, church, the basic places, right? Going out to nightclubs and stuff does require a little bit of riz, a little bit of looks, money, and status and all of that. So, but there are places that you could definitely go. Anybody has the option to go out and find a community. I just think some people, like the guy in this video, might be depressed to a point where they have no urgency or just no motivation to actually go out there and talk to people. I don't have depression, but I've gone through bouts of depression in my life. When I've went through traumatic experiences, like the loss of my father or like a heartbreak or something like that, I have been through situations that I guess cause what you could call like stimulated depression or situational depression. So I know what it's like to not really have the motivation to go out and talk to people. It's like I've literally been at points where I've looked at Tinder and I have, like 100 unopened messages, but I was depressed, so I couldn't even open them. Like I would look at the phone and see these unopened messages, and I just didn't have the energy to even click on them to open them. So yeah, I totally understand where he's coming from. When you're depressed, it's easier said than done when it comes to going out and making friends, because you just don't want to. What if you don't find people who you like to hang out with? That's true. Then you're better off being by yourself. LFA, he's saying like LFA's okay. Yeah. Shout out Pumping Vinyl in the house. We'll go on with this video.
It's just a never-ending cycle of loneliness and um, stuck in my own thoughts, dealing with anxiety symptoms or fear, worry, money worries, of course. I don't have a job. All these things. Who's going to love you if you don't have a job? Um, most women, I think most women out there look for security first and foremost before they even care about anything else. And they want a man that is got a good job and earn good money or can provide for the family or whatever. I don't have any of that either. I used to. I used to be an engineer. I used to earn a lot of money, and I basically squandered all that money on traveling and seeing things in the world. And
He actually brings up a really good point there, and I don't think he realized it. How many people out there say like, or how many times have you heard people say, experience is what really matters? It's not about the car you drive or how much money you have. It's about the experiences that you have in your life. Well, if those experiences are costing you money and, it's causing your life to suck, then maybe it's not such a good thing. I think experience is overrated. Experience robs you of your innocence. Traveling is overrated. Like, have you ever, do, do you recall being younger, or some of you guys might be younger, or some of you guys might be virgins? Do you recall when you were younger and the majority of your friends and close, people in your age group were virgins, and you could sort of see the difference in somebody before they lost their virginity and after they lost their virginity? It's like their innocence was gone. Like they kind of have this like sort of, you could say, grown, but also like sort of corrupt. They have like a new, like corrupt and almost perverted side of themselves that they're showing. And you could just see this change. Whereas somebody that remains a virgin still has that innocence to them. It's like when you talk to them, they just seem so innocent and so pure. This is so bright. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't save anything. I didn't put anything aside for times like this. So I did kind of live the life of the here and now rather than plan for the future. And a lot of the bad things that are going on in my life now could have been prevented if I had been more sensible and done things differently when I was younger, but I didn't. So it's too late to go back and change anything now. And yeah, of course, if we could go back in time, we probably a lot of people would probably do many things differently. But at the same time, I got to see the world. I got to see a lot of things. I got to experience different cultures and different people and all these things. But at the same time, I left myself maybe worn out, and I sacrificed my security financially and all that for all them things. You know, I don't know what's right and what's wrong, but I've left myself in a precarious situation now because in my current state, I don't feel really fit to work. And that's the honest truth. I feel like I'm far too unstable to hold down any sort of job now. Um, Everything in my life now is really unstable. I can't sleep properly. My sleeping pattern is all over the place. I'm constantly having anxiety symptoms and um, a lack of motivation, a lack of care for anything. I know if I had a job now, right, I wouldn't.
What this guy needs to do is he needs to immediately start working out, and he needs to eat nothing but real food, meat, vegetables, rice, stuff that you can either grow or kill. And make sure that he's not doing things like watching internet porn and masturbating constantly, because that shit will fuck with your dopamine levels. But if he works out, frees himself from pornography and other toxic pathogens, and eats right, I think for a lot of people that would, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not saying it would cure depression, but I think for a lot of people, it would give you that uplift. If you don't have clinical depression, if you just have like a situational depression, it would cure that for sure. And at least give you the confidence and T levels to get out there and talk to girls and be a cocky, cool dude that other dudes want to hang out with.
Care less about it. I wouldn't even care less about waking up for it in the morning and getting there on time, listening to what a boss has got to tell me, carrying out the task with any sort of competency. I wouldn't care. You know, when you don't care about anything, and I mean anything, you don't care about life itself. It's very hard to get motivated about a job or anything for that matter. And it sounds like somebody feeling sorry for themselves, like, oh god, this guy just feeling sorry for himself, and get up off your ass, get a job, sort yourself out. I don't know. It's not as easy as that. I've got this mental block that's just like takes over everything. And even if you do have ambitions and want,
By the way, he has 6,410 subscribers. Hang on a second. Let me look him up. His channel. I don't want to click off the video, but I'm going to go over to his channel. He only has 3 videos, but he's attained almost almost 6,500 subscribers. How many YouTubers out there have been pumping out video after video after video for years now, and you still don't have 6,000 subscribers? We've all been there. As a matter of fact, the channel that I'm reacting to this video on right now has less than that amount of subscribers. It has like half that amount. My main channel has 96,000, but this one is like, I come out with 2 or 3 videos a week on this channel, and I still haven't accumulated 6,000.
to need and want to do things. On the other side of
So, Hiki Omori, my dude, come on my channel, LFA Live, and we will come up with a plan for you. And you already have clout. You can take it to the next level, my friend.
the con, you don't care about doing anything or want to do anything. It's like a never-ending cycle of hell. It's very weird and strange to explain, but when you live it, you'd understand it. I was wondering if anyone else out there feels like this. I guess this sort of being stuck thing didn't really affect me as much when I was younger because I felt like, I'm just young, I'm stuck now, but whatever. I've got all my life to sort it out. But now I'm 37 and I'm still stuck. I'm still frozen in time. Nothing in my life has moved forward and moved on. I just look around and I see everyone else seems like they've got happy families and all these things going on. And then there's me just stuck sitting in my bedroom alone every day with nobody to talk to. And nobody to love or anything, and it's almost soul destroying, actually, and it makes you feel like there's something wrong with you. Why does nobody like me? Why does nobody love me? Why does nobody want to spend their life with me? Why does no one want to be my friend? Um, I don't know. I don't know the reasons, but it certainly doesn't feel good. It doesn't make a person feel happy. That's for sure. Yeah, being stuck like this. I was wondering if there's anybody else out there that feels like this. Especially,
Shout out to the chat. Is there anybody else out there that feels like that? Now, he doesn't have a job, but I'm sure there are plenty of people out there, millions of people out there, maybe billions, that go throughout their life, through their day. They go to work, maybe they go to school, they go to these places and they see people everywhere they go. And it seems like all of these other people have friends and family and have stuff going on, but you don't have much going on. Like none of them are your friends. Like they're acquaintances that you see regularly, but they're not close enough for you to consider them immediate close friends or family. They're just like acquaintances. I mean, that's the majority. Even if you do have friends and family, 90% of the people that you see on a regular basis aren't your friends and family, right? They're just acquaintances that you see around. And then you have, maybe like you have all these different people, but then you have like friends and family, like maybe that you live with, right? But I mean, that makes sense. And if you don't have friends and family that you live with, here's why I understand where he's coming from. I moved to a different city with my girlfriend, by the way, but she and I broke up a few years after after moving here, like maybe 4 years, something like that after moving here. And most of the friends that we had were mutual friends. Some were, her girlfriends that she had made. Some were like people that I worked with. But when we split up, I completely stopped talking to all of her friends. And I left the job that I was at. So I was sort of for a while there at like 29 years old in a city by myself, not really knowing anybody. So I understand where he's coming from. Of course, I'm a social person and I'm not depressed. So it worked out okay for me. I actually enjoyed myself and got things done, but I do understand where he's coming from. Looking back, there probably were moments when it was like, wow, I really have nobody out here.
Especially people that are getting on in age. Like when you start hitting like your late 30s and stuff, like me, 37, it's almost as if you feel more desperate to um, move on with your life and feel like you're going somewhere, because you're getting older. You think like, whoa, am I going to get to sort of 57 next, 47 next, 57 next, 67 next, and still be in this position? Am I still going to be in nothing, never done anything, never achieved anything, never had a family? Is this me? Is this all I've got to offer the world? And my life is going to be over? Then I can look back and think, whoa, I didn't give anything back to this planet. I just sat around in a bedroom feeling constant fear for God knows how many years. Is that all I've got to offer this world? Really? I hope not. I hope that's not the case.
All right, shout out to this guy. That was an excellent confession. I think the reason why those videos get so popular is because so many people out there are in that exact same boat. Some people are okay with it. Some people are depressed by it. But a lot of people are in that boat in this day and age. And you have to wonder, it's kind of like a Black Mirror episode. People, especially people in the city, country boys usually have friends and family because they grew up with the people in the country and they know everybody in the country. Most city people, it's almost like they live in their pods, right? They have their phones, their computers, maybe their jobs. Maybe they work their jobs and they go home to their pod and look on their computers and their phones, and it's all digital, but they don't have any real friends or family. And slowly but surely, as human beings, that's what we're moving into. You know, it's like reproduction. It's like we're going to use technology to reproduce. Technology, it's like reproduction without technology. Now, we used to have reproduction without technology. Now we have technology without reproduction. I don't know. That's weird. Anyways, shout out to the creator of that video. That was absolutely great. We'll be right back after these messages.
Ultimate Fighting Championship invades the Continental Airlines Arena.
Let's get it on! Come on!
The Thunder from Down Under, Elvis Sinosic challenges Huntington Beach bad boy Tito Ortiz for his UFC Light Heavyweight Championship of the world. Plus, a full night of action in the Octagon from the most intense event in sports today. UFC Showdown in the Meadowlands. Friday, June 29th, live at the Continental Airlines Arena. Tickets on sale now.
There's people outside and sometimes they're inside, so go to those two places.
Now just pretend this floor is a beach. Very, very firm sand. And look. Stars.
No pollution to get in the way. A complete beach resort. What can I do to make your paradise dream come true?
Well, look what we have here. A little passion body oil.
Do you always think of everything?
I'm a man who knows what he likes. And goes for it.
Bang. We are back. You know, there was a decent beef going on between two regular callers on the LFA show, William V. Taper and Carrie Sontag. You know, it was going on behind the scenes yesterday, and they're welcome to call in if they want to duke it out. Also, guys, if anybody wants to call in and they have any questions they'd like answered live on the air, whether they be dating advice related or, you know, the topic of this video related, the link is at the top and you can click in and call totally free. So there it is. Anyways, did I miss anything in the chat? I don't know if I did or not. Or if you have any questions, type a Q before your question and I'll try to answer it, or put it in a super chat. Either way, I'll try to get it answered. Carrie will not be calling tonight. Okay. All right. Oh, we're waiting. Well, I think we found another one of these guys.
So I want to talk about something real important to me, real close and dear to me in this video today. So disclaimer, I might get a little emotional. I might not. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But when I was growing up, When I was growing up, man, I was a loser. First things first. First things first, guys. Serious video today. I was a loser. I was overweight, which doesn't just make you a loser, but in my school it did. And I was that kid that sat at the table with 3 other people that were also like the super rejects. That was me. And there's nothing wrong with that. That actually is a good thing for me because I met my friends. That's where I met my friends. My lifetime friends is where I met at that table. It was like 4 or 5 people, and it expanded and, got slimmer over time. But it was those people. And we did everything together. All my whole life. Like from kindergarten up, we did everything together. And that was a really awesome thing that happened in my life. But something happened a little bit later. And when I got to my late 20s, and a lot of you can probably attest to this in the comments, let me know. But when I got to my late 20s, those friends disappeared. And it's not because they were like, I hate you, Cody. It's nothing like that. It's, life happens. People get married, they move across the country. They were just gone. So, you know the story about me anyway. I mean, if you follow my channel, I got married. I still hung out with my friends, but, I got married. And she became my best friend. And in 2016, she didn't want to be my friend anymore. So
I know that's a celebratory horn there, but shout out to him for making that video. That is sad, and that's an aspect of breakups that people don't really take into consideration. He says, she was my friend, she was my best friend, and one day she just decided she didn't want to be my friend anymore. Damn. That is sad.
We were together about 8 years, and then she left. So I was totally alone. And my friends were pretty much gone. This was at the point where they were disappearing and moving away and stuff like that. And over the last couple of years, I've came to accept this. I thought to myself, hey, like when you get to this age, you just don't have friends anymore. And it's kind of a hard realization to come to, but it just seemed normal.
That kind of is true. Now, one thing that I will say, this is new to millennials and Gen Zs. My parents' generation, they had the same friends since they were kids, and they still had that same group of friends all the way up into now my mom's in her 60s, right? So same group of friends, and they're all still there. They all still get together a few times a month, have drinks. Sometimes they'll be at my mom's house playing cards and, having a good old time, right? So they still have their close friends that they grew up with. Most of this younger generation bounces from friend group to friend group. It's like they have like this BPD or something. They just bounce from group to group. Neo Starling has the same group of friends he grew up with. I'll tell a quick story about my biggest group of friends, or my closest group of friends. I had a friend named Chris. Chris was, you could call him a Giga Chad, 6'2", had the face of a model, the chiseled jawline and cheekbones and all that shit. He was like, the Ken doll that all these black-pilled people want to be like. Really cool guy, and he had my back too. And he wasn't just like a pretty boy type. He had your back. If I got into a fight, I remember this one time, this dude was in my face and we were talking some shit to each other, and I'm clenching my fists and I'm getting ready, because I'm just watching. I'm about to make my move, and over my shoulder, Chris's hand just comes over there and rips the guy by his collar and just like slams him to the ground. He wasn't even going to let me get in the fight. He was going to jump on this dude before it even happened. He was just a hell of a friend. Chris died of a drug overdose. 2000 and, or wait, 2019, maybe 2020. And I was in Oklahoma. He was up in Columbus, Ohio. I had got the news, and it sucked. My other best friend, one of my other best friends, his name was Michael. He got himself into some trouble. He became a drug dealer. He went to prison for, I think, like 10 years. I think he got out a little bit early for good behavior. Died of a drug overdose immediately when he got out. My other best friend, Derek, had called me 3 years ago. Maybe it was 4 years ago. I think 2019. I think it was pre-COVID, like summer before COVID. He calls me and he says, hey, and this was before Chris had died too. So he called me. He said, hey, me and Chris are going to stop by your house in Tulsa. We're going to stay there for one day. We can get drunk and hang out in Tulsa and all that. And then we're going to take you, and the three of us are going to go to Sacramento, and we're going to meet Phil, who was one of my other best friends growing up. And they had planned like a week ahead. So I was like, cool, I'll take some time off work. You guys are going to come from Ohio. You can chill at my house for a day, get some rest, eat something, have a drink. And then the three of us will go to Phil's property in Sacramento. He had like a cabin out in, Sacramento is different than it's a different part of California, you could say. It's tall pine trees and countryside and just cool. It's a cool scene in nature, right? He had a cabin out there. That's what we were going to do. Well, Phil had a baby's mother who was making his life a living hell. And Phil decided to step in front of a train before we made the trip. The week that we were about to make the trip, he decided he was walking his dog and he stepped in front of a train, stepped on train tracks. Terrible way to go out. And I don't promote drug usage. I don't promote people self-deleting. I think, and I don't feel sorry for people that self-delete. I think you can't encourage that. You can't make people martyrs when they do that. You just have to denounce that altogether, disavow all of that altogether, right? But he did it, and it was so strange because my three best friends, this group of four who hadn't hung out together in 8 years, we were getting back together. It was going to be such a fucking cool time. And who knows what the trajectory of my life would have been had we went on that trip, because I was reuniting with my friends. I was newly single. Could have done so many things, right? But he steps on a train track. For some reason, Phil thought, well, in Phil's mind, and this is the cold, hard truth, and I don't promote people self-deleting, but the cold, hard truth is he had made the decision that stepping on a railroad track in front of a high-speed train was less painful than what he was going through with his baby's mother. And that's the system that we live in the United States. Men go through that on a regular basis. And that's my group of friends. Derek's still alive in Ohio. I'm alive here in Oklahoma. But, it is what it is. I can't just go back to my friends. Anyways, we'll keep playing the video.
Everybody my age seems the same. That just seems how it is nowadays. And is it entirely that bad to have no friends? No. I mean, it gives you time to focus on yourself. But would you need that support? Yeah. But I just didn't have it. I'm now 31 years old, guys. I'm 31. I do almost everything myself. You know, I do my YouTube, the channel you watch. That's pretty much my entire life. Please subscribe.
Fucking subscribe. Hey, every YouTuber's YouTube channel is his entire life. No, I'm kidding. I have a lot of other things that mean more to me, but YouTube requires a lot of time and effort. If you want to be a YouTuber, you got to be pretty heavily engaged, you know, and you kind of almost have to be obsessed if you want to have some success on YouTube. So I feel what he's saying there.
It's my entire life, guys. Oh my God. But I learned something really recently that I didn't think I would get to experience. When I started YouTube, you know, it was for fun, obviously. And when it started taking off, that was pretty cool. But something came of it that I never thought would ever come of it. My viewers. And I know a lot of people are different, but my viewers would message me and talk to me. And I have people that have been in my community for a long time, and they've become, you know, real friends. But now, granted, that's the point of this whole video, is the fact that I didn't consider it that way. You know, they were the people from my YouTube community, you know, and the people in my actual life. You know, I don't have any friends in real life. So I talk to these people on Discord. I talk to these people on Instagram. I talk to these people on Twitter. And I talk to them regularly, you know. Well, recently we had a meetup.
Isn't that the new world, though? Isn't that the world that we live in? How many of you guys go in these, just like my chat right here, but you probably have other chats that you go to as well. Maybe some Discords, maybe Twitter, who knows? But a large portion of your social life and, you know, your acquaintances and maybe even your friends are people online. You know, it's kind of a sad reality, but that's the reality that we live in now.
Guys, we went to Orlando with 16 people, maybe, all from my channel. And that's about probably the first day of this meetup.
I don't mean to interrupt again, but see, at least he's turning it into physical meets. That's pretty fucking cool.
With some truly fan-damn-tastic people. About a day into this meetup, maybe about a day into it, I learned something that inadvertently that I didn't think I would learn. And I learned that these people that chose to come to this get together with me I learned that they were my real friends. I'm sorry. I've always said for years now that I don't have friends. And it's just crazy to me. I left Orlando last week, you know, and I got home and I was just laying there and I realized that I have friends, real friends. And that's something I didn't expect to happen. You know, like I said, I was like, oh, these are, you know, people in my YouTube community. And it was just unexpected. And I told you I was going to probably get emotional. And I actually thought I was strong enough to hold it back, but I'm a big old fat bitch and I just can't help it. But
I respect him making this video. And I respect him expressing his emotions. It takes courage to do that. Definitely does. But I think if this guy worked out, ate healthy food, had good, healthy testosterone levels, and, you know, grabbed life by the balls, he wouldn't be doing this.
You feel, you know, you feel alone. We all feel alone sometimes. It's just crazy. It's crazy to me that on this weird thing, the internet, that you can start over. So I want to read something from my boy Skytex. He was at the get together. I'm going to read this, and I want you guys to pay attention because this is how I feel. So we're going to read this real quick. Oh, my heart's beating so fast. I apologize, guys. That wasn't what I was supposed to do. Well, you're the first one to get this because you're definitely included. I had lots of thinking time on the drive already. So read this and pass it along. It says, so now that the trip is done, the one from last week, well, for most of us, I just wanted to say thank you. You really don't know just what it means to me. 7 months ago, I was staring down the barrel of my pistol, hating my life, and squeezed the trigger hard enough that a tremor would have ended my life. I'm not really sure what stopped me. I wound up watching Cody and then Hannah, which is Tiny One Badger, every night to keep me from thinking about it. And it's led me to this entire community that has literally turned into my family. I know my humor isn't the best. I'm kind of a dick, same. And my social skills are jack shit because in 37 years, I've had exactly 2 friendships that weren't whatever because of the horrible relationship I was in. For that, I'm sorry, but I'm trying. I was so hesitant on coming on this trip, and I'm so glad I did. You folks have not only saved my life, but keep me looking forward and improving. I'm thankful for each and every one of you, and I can't wait for the next trip. And I can't wait either. Big Mike sent that to me the other day, and I read that, and I lost my shit because I guess you don't really think about it. The what I get from the community is like the same that some of them get from me, and that's just it's comforting to have, you know, it's comforting to know that we all feel similar. Some of us do. So. One more thing. So this thing right here, we went on an axe throwing adventure. It was awesome. I enjoyed it. I won the tournament because you guys suck. No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. But we have a few more people that weren't actually.
It's cool, man. He's got fellas and he's got some chicks. So in some of you guys might, you Manosphere viewers might look at these chicks and be like, well, they're not dimes. The blonde is pretty hot there if she took better care of herself. But we're not going to go down that path on this video. These are dimes to these guys. These are women that are good fits for these guys. And look, they met up. They got dudes and chicks. They had a good time. They partied. They, some of them probably had some good old, adult fun. Look at them out there having a good time. One of these days, we're going to have to do that.
At this thing, but it was awesome. We had a lot of fun. And it's just cool. It's real cool to learn that there's like-minded people out there. And it's cool for the first time in a long time to realize that I actually have friends. So I can't no longer legally say that I don't have friends because I do. And it's the people that have been on this journey that I started this entire time. Everybody you see in this picture has been in my community for years. So I appreciate all of you. I just wanted to say thank you. And I wanted to talk about that just for a minute. I apologize for getting emotional, but it means a lot to me. And I wanted to throw some love at the people that support me every damn day. And I would just let you know that you changed my life in such a big way, in such a big ass way. My boy, Chris Rodkiss sent me a video, or it's on his channel. I'll put it in the description, but he talks about being friends with me and stuff. And I watched it and cried like a bit. I'm just so cry all the time. I can't even watch Moana anymore. You know the part where it's like, hey, instant cry. Disney presents, hey, cry. I'm crying already, baby. Crying already. You know at the beginning of Titanic when it just shows the old ship, like the vintage footage, and it's like, crying the whole. Let's end this video. What am I doing, guys? Thank you guys for always being there for me, and I'm going to try my best to be there for you. So until next time, get the hell on it, doggone it. What even is this? Bye. It's an HDMI splitter. Yeah. I wonder if I could use this for something. Why is it here? I don't know.
Shout out to that dude. Very good video.
With these videos.